past year, and my journey has been one of profound transformation. At the age of 27, I found myself in a place that felt impossibly bleak. I was a single mom of two, struggling to make ends meet. The fear of not being able to feed my children or discovering our lights and water had been turned off haunted me daily. My circumstances felt like a cage, and I was trapped by a story I had told myself for years. I was not smart. I was stupid. I was unworthy of prosperity, love, or happiness. I believed my life was destined to be a struggle. This story didn't start in my adult years. Its roots went deep into my childhood. In the 8th grade, I was voted class airhead, a title that followed me into the 12th grade. These moments became the narrative of my life. I internalized these labels, and they shaped my perception of who I was. Despite growing up in a loving family with immense support, I couldn't see past the cloud of self-doubt that enveloped me. One person stood as a beacon of hope and belief in me, my mom. She was my biggest cheerleader, always there to remind me of my potential and capabilities. When I ventured into real estate, it was her voice that pushed me forward. She'd say things to me like, "You've got this. Of course they will list with you, and you are capable." Her unwavering faith in me was a lifeline. We were not just mother and daughter. We were best friends, co-workers, and she was my rock in raising my children. In 2015, my world was shattered. My mom was struck by a car and passed away. The months that followed were a blur of grief and pain. I was lost in a fog, barely able to function. But slowly, I began to hear her voice again, not in the physical sense, but in my heart and my mind. Her affirmation started to replace my negative self-talk. I began to believe the words that she always said to me. It wasn't an overnight transformation. It took time. But I had to believe those affirmations because it was the only way forward. I rebuilt my life, step by step, driven by the love and belief my mom had in me. My real estate business grew drastically. I built a team that consistently ranked in the top 1% of our market. The success was not just in numbers, but in the realization that I was capable, worthy, and intelligent. I've hired business coaches and had the tools to build an incredible real estate business. But my dreams were bigger, and I knew that in order to think bigger, I needed help. I didn't need to know more systems, more tools, more ways to do more and more and more. I couldn't. I was already putting in 80+ hour work weeks. I needed a mindset shift. I needed a new identity. I hired a consultant who worked with Bob Proctor and began understanding that it is my thoughts that create things, that there are no limits, that I am able to do as much as I can see. Things really started to change again after this. I published my first book, and I began coaching hundreds of realtors and entrepreneurs on everything I knew. There was a problem in the beginning, though. I shared my playbook of everything. I held my clients accountable, but I learned quickly that they didn't need the playbook. They too needed the identity shift. They too needed to understand their own power. This is real transformation. Just over 1 year ago, I hired another mentor who taught me that we are always manifesting. We are either creating the reality that we fear, what today looks like, and we live Groundhog's Day, or what we can see in our imagination as the best versions of ourselves. The work is always within. Our business, our lives, they will never outgrow us. Sometimes we need to discover what's holding us back and replace those limiting beliefs. I am now happily married. I have a beautiful blended family of 7. I own Uncaged Potential Coaching with my husband, and I live a life that I once only dreamed about. I didn't realize that it was in the cards for me. I thought that having everything was for everyone else, until I didn't. It is now my life's mission to help others redefine the story they tell themselves about who they are and help them live lives of prosperity, health, wealth, and love. unconditionally and unapologetically. Are you ready? Hello. Oh, that is sometimes difficult to watch, right? We being vulnerable and sharing my story, but I want to just first say thank you so much for all of you coming. If you're not familiar with Zoom, if you have it on gallery view, that is absolutely fine. If in the right-hand corner, if you would like to just change your view, go ahead. There's up in the right-hand corner view, and you can change it to speaker if that is easier for you, whichever one is good for you. The other thing too is if you have the capability, I would love to see your faces. I would absolutely love it if you would turn your cameras on, and so I can see you. It's your energy and it's, your facial expressions that help me kind of get through this. So that would be amazing if I can see your faces. If you are in a position that you are not able to turn your screen on, of course I understand that. I am just so happy and grateful that you're here. So thank you for coming. My name is Brooke Pashier. It is amazing to see you. Oh, Bridget, hi, just saw you wave. So good to see some of you. And some of you I know very well. Some of you I do not know. And I'm just really, really happy and grateful that you're here and that you answered the assignment. You answered the first assignment of the session because I was calling all high achieving entrepreneurs. And so you already identify as a high achieving entrepreneur, whether or not you might be like, yeah, but Brooke, you don't know my bank account, or yeah, but Brooke, you don't know my story. You answered the call. So congratulations on that. My backstory was if you have the capability, I'm going to go ahead and, oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Again, I'm Brooke Pashier, and today is going to be a packed day. Okay. The idea of today is to not just have me really kind of come up here and just facilitate. It's for you to internalize the information that I'm going to share with you and take it and apply it. So we're going to meet today and tomorrow. I have 2 hours time blocked for it. Whether or not we go the whole 2 hours will depend on how this goes, as far as like if you have questions that you want to ask. If I am done facilitating before that, we'll stop. But I want you to make sure that you understand that the work is what you do outside of these couple hours that we have together. All right. So today, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about who are you? Who do you identify as currently? And I'm going to walk you through that because you might have some surprising things in there that you uncover. So who am I currently identifying as is what we're going to talk about first. Then we're actually going to do some self-discovery and say, well, what do I want? What is it that I desire? You all showed up for a reason, right? There's something within you that says there's something more. But I have to decide what that is. Who do I identify as? And figure out what are the stories that I'm telling myself that don't align with what it is that I desire. Most people I have found have not even been able to sit really back and ask themselves, what do I want? What do I want? We live a life that is kind of in alignment with what other people told us we should want, with what other people told us we might be good at. So we want to ask, what is it that I want? And then we're going to identify what is stopping me? What is stopping me from going there? And we're going to ask ourselves, is that true? So I'm going to walk you through those steps today. Tomorrow, what we're going to do when we meet, and you do not want to miss tomorrow, I promise you that. Tomorrow, what we're going to do is we're actually going to change the narrative with a story that is in alignment with what it is that we desire. So we have to do today's work first. Some of us might discover a few things that we don't love. I know I did. So we have to be vulnerable with ourselves. And then tomorrow, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to change that story. We are going to create a story that is empowering for us. And then we are going to talk about how we can move forward and embody that, put that into action. If you allow today and tomorrow to change you, it will. It absolutely will. My life's work is I help high achieving professionals thrive confidently. I want you to thrive. I love that you cannot be in competition with me. Why? Because I want you to win too. I want everybody to win. I want to help you thrive confidently. I want you to embrace success. I help high achieving professionals embrace success. And I also help high achieving professionals break free of chaos. Break free of chaos. So how do we do that? Okay, I'm going to just go ahead. I've got a migraine. Okay. Totally fine. Understand. Thank you for letting me know. And yes, if you cannot stay for the whole time, I will have a recording. I will say though, thank you for letting me know, and we will definitely see you tomorrow. I hope you feel better. I'm just going to address that real quick. If you have to leave, by all means, I get that. There is something powerful though about being live. There's something really powerful about being live, being able to ask your questions live and all of that. So if you have to go, totally get it. But if you can stay on, do that, because you will get so much out of it if you are. All right. Before I get into the session, I do want to say this as well. If you have questions, please just go ahead and put them in the chat. I would love this to be an interactive thing. All right. And so if you have questions, throw them in the chat and I will stop. I will go through the questions and I will go and I will answer them. All right. No matter what it is. So feel free to put those in there. And if you want to stop me, if you have a question and need to raise your hand, that's fine too. All right. These will be recorded and we will send them to you though. All right. So the first thing we need to do in order to change our success story is we have to be self-aware. We have to be self-aware. So a lot of us think, okay, just give me the playbook. And I've provided a lot of you with playbooks. I've provided, playbooks on things I've done in my real estate business and playbooks on other things. The kicker though, is it doesn't matter if you have the playbook or not. I've had plenty of playbooks. We all know innately what it is to do, what it is that we need to put in place in order for us to have success in the business that we are in. Okay. So if you're in real estate, we know really how to build a great real estate business, right? If you are an entrepreneur, a physical trainer, you have a practice, you have a business, you own a boutique, whatever that might be. We got into it with some knowing of the activities to do in order to create a beautiful business. Do we or do we not? But we have to say, I've heard it so many times with my clients, I don't know what's stopping me. I don't know why I'm not doing it. And so that's what we have to ask ourselves. I already know what to do. Why do I not do it? And that 100% starts with identity. Every time. Because think about this. When I was a single mom and I felt broke and broken and unlovable, did growing a beautiful business feel really hard? Yeah.
That feels really, really hard. If I identify as somebody, and I remember saying this, I'm a single mom. I'm so broke. I don't have the money to do this. I don't have any help. Nobody's coming to my rescue. I felt broke, broken, unlovable. So success, by my definition, felt really, really hard. So what did I start doing instead? Started judging everybody else that had the success I desire. Oh, must be nice. Good for them. They must have grown up with a silver spoon in their mouth. So I started judging people with success. I started judging people when I felt unlovable who were in happy relationships. Oh God, here we go again. They got to just put it out there how great things are. Right? Or expressing myself fully. If I felt I would be judged for expressing myself fully, I would judge people who express themselves fully. If I'm I'm singing and I'm dancing and I'm in my car and nobody's around me, that's awesome. But then I come to a stop sign, there's other cars around and I stop. Why? Because I'm afraid I'll be judged for expressing myself fully. So what happens when I see someone else singing and dancing at the stop sign when I'm judging myself for that? I'm judging them. Interesting, right? So what I have found is really what I judge in others is a reflection of what's going on in here. It's a reflection of what I am judging within me. And the real kicker is that most of us don't even know that we're doing it. We are on autopilot. Why? Why are we on autopilot? Interestingly enough, until we are self-aware enough, we are told how to think. We are told what to judge. We are told what is right or wrong. We are told all these different things. And then we go on autopilot and we're programmed. In fact, research shows that before the ages of 7 or 8, most of what we believe is already implanted in us. Why? Because we do not have the conscious mind to ask, is that true? Why do I believe that? We don't have the ability before the age of 7 or 8 to ask the questions. Why do I feel this way? Why do my parents behave that way? Is this the kind of marriage that I desire? My parents I grew up in a household that, they worked their whole lives. They put in a lot of work. They came home, they had nothing left for the family. They turn on the news and all we hear is negativity from the news. Then we hear fights about money. So our thoughts are, ooh, people with money fight. Or I want money, but it's a constant discussion. It's a negative thing. A lot of us with religious views, right? Our feelings, these are ingrained in us. So we kind of just go, oh, well, this is the way it is. And then until we become aware of it, we end up living the same lives that we were destined to live because that's how everything is around us. So the one thing we have to do is we have to find out, what is it? Who am I right now? How do I identify? So the first step in being able to build the business that you love, or to build the dream that you want, or to take the vacation that you desire, or to attract the love that you long for, is we have to become self-aware. We have to become very self-aware. So, what we do is, I want you to spend some time after we meet today, and I want you to get quiet. And I want you to just go into, your mind and say, who am I? The way I do that is I say, Brooke is a woman who. Brooke is a woman who. Maybe it's Bridget is a woman who. Shannon is a woman who. Okay. And at first, a lot of things are going to come out like, Brooke is a woman who is a mom, and Brooke is a woman who is a business owner. Brooke is a woman who is married to Josh. Brooke is a woman who, right? But what's under the surface? After I do this for a few times, and by the way, this is a constant like thing. It never stops. This work never stops. Because the more that we're aware, the more that we can uncover, and then we can change that story. Okay. So then I would say things like this. Brooke is a woman who is deeply afraid of success because I'm afraid to outgrow my friends and family. Ooh, is that an empowering story of myself, or is that a limiting story? The one thing I'm chasing and desire is success in my business, and I'm deeply afraid of it. Brooke is a woman who needs to weigh this amount. The scale must say this in order for me to be worthy. Brooke is a woman who has 2 beautiful biological children, but she doesn't share the story of being a single mom because there's shame, and she's afraid she'll be judged. These are things I uncovered. I had to figure that out. And then I had to look at those beliefs and say, who says? Who says? Is this true? Who says that being a single mom is a bad thing? No. I am so proud of the way I raised my children. I am so proud of the way that they have grown up to be. But I was telling myself a story that being a single mom was shameful, that I was a sinner, that I would be judged. So the one thing that that is giving me the most joy in my life, being a mom, I had to become self-aware that I carry a little shame about that. Why? Is being a single mom bad? No, unless you believe it is. It just is. Nothing is good or bad until we decide it's good or bad. Do people who have the success that we desire? Here's another one. I would love to have the success in my business, but I already work over 80 hours a week and I don't have any more time. So who says that having the business I desire requires I work over 80 hours a week, requires that it's hard. You know when it's hard? It's hard when I'm afraid of it because I'm afraid I'll be judged. I'm afraid I'll outgrow people. It's hard when I identify as broke and broken and unlovable. And so I'm coming from a mindset of I'm broke, I'm broken, and I'm unlovable, but I want a beautiful business. Yeah, that feels really hard. That's an awareness, right? Same thing if you are here and you might have a beautiful business. I will say this as well. I felt like I needed, and I know there's some men in here. Thank you for being here. Women, I'm going to talk to you for a minute, especially as business owners and especially like the industry that I come from. I felt like I needed to be in my masculine energy all the time. And when I say masculine, I don't mean men. I don't mean male. I meant I needed to grind. I needed to like prove that I was worthy. I had to defend my success. How did I defend my success? I'd put it out on social media at 11 o'clock at night that I was still working. Why? Because I felt like the only way that I could feel worthy of any success was if I showed how hard I was working for it. That was a huge awareness that I had. I have to be on all the time. My clients won't use me. My customer service is going to go down. I have to give up time with my family in order to build this beautiful business. Everybody else is in control of everything for me. There's self-aware things that I had to uncover. Is what I'm chasing the one thing that scares me to death? Sometimes it is. We got to figure that out. We got to figure that out. Okay. Especially with women. And I know men have different pressures. Maybe someday my husband will speak about those because he also coaches men, right? So, but women have pressures. I know we all do. But we're supposed to look a certain way, be a certain weight, look a certain age, maybe be married. We're supposed to, everything's supposed to be beautiful on the outside in order for us to have the business that we desire. Who says? Who says? Can we find evidence elsewhere? Can we find professional, successful women who are unwed? Can we find professional, successful women who might have a little bit of extra weight on their body? Yeah. Can we find professional, successful women who are taking month-long vacations at a time? Yeah. So we have to ask ourselves, is it true? Why do I believe that? Why is that important to me? We believe that in our businesses. We've got to work long hours. We've got to do the endless hard work. It's going to be chaotic. Who says? When I identify as broke, broken, and unlovable, yes, success feels like I have to put in long hours. I have to, work harder than anybody else. I have to prove myself. I can't have my service go down. I can't be in chaos. Those are beliefs that stop me. So I want you to understand, you came here for a manual on success. This is the manual. It is not about what you do. It is about who you identify as every single time. It is always about who you identify as. Don't ask me what I did. Ask me who I am. All right. Don't ask me what I did. Ask me what I am. Of course, there's playbooks on everything. But if I were to give a playbook and I said, okay, this is how we're going to build a beautiful business. If you identify as somebody who is not smart, I'm just going to use my limiting beliefs, right? Not smart, carries shame, unlovable, but I desire success. Yeah, I'll probably have to hustle harder than anybody else because that just means I have to do more of what I'm doing at the awareness, at the consciousness of somebody who identifies as broke, broken, not smart, and unlovable. But what if I shift my identity to, I'm a badass mom who is absolutely capable of achieving whatever she desires. She is bold. Head in the clouds? Yeah, you heard in the video. Voted class airhead. my collections, not just once. I got the award twice. I carried shame. You guys, when they came to me and wanted the picture for the yearbook, literally remember this, right? 17-year-old Brooke. And I was so angry. I was so angry because I was so embarrassed. I didn't want that label. Do you want to know what? I have changed that story through the awareness of identifying, oh my gosh, I actually think I'm stupid. How did I change that story? Oh, head in the clouds? Yeah, I'm the visionary. You want some good ideas? You want to come from inspiration? You want to be able to like really make a change? Get your head in the clouds. Get your in your imagination. Your imagination is the best tool that you can have in your business. Your imagination, I'm going to say that again, is the best tool that you have for your business. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the feminine energy I'm speaking of. So when I say feminine and masculine energy, I am speaking of the masculine meaning the mechanical. The masculine meaning the hustle, the grind, the doing, the action. The feminine is the self-love, the self-care, the imagination. What we find, though, is that most people do not have a beautiful dance of both. So when I define myself again as a single mom and success is hard, I immediately went into the mechanical. I have to do more, I have to do more, I have to do more, I have to do more. So all of my inspiration without getting into my imagination came from the awareness of you're broke, you're broken, you're unlovable, you're shameful, you're not smart. Because that's who I identified as, the hustle and grind was the only way I could see of making it to the top, to where I wanted to be. What if I just shifted that identity and said, you are successful. You are brilliant. You are lovable. You identify as a multimillionaire. You identify as somebody who empowers other people to be their best selves. You are inspirational. You make a difference. When I start going into my imagination and seeing and feeling that version of me, does success feel hard? No. Why not? Because we will always default to what we feel comfortable with. So whether or not who you are identifying as right now serves you, if it's comfortable, you will default to it. Does that make sense? If you have questions on that, put it in the chat. Okay. I really want you to catch this. We're becoming aware of our programming, and it's by identifying what is it that who is it that I identify as right now? Okay. So I really, it's important that we catch that. When I go into the identity of I am successful, I am her, I get into my imagination, I feel her, I see her, I think like her. I do the activities that she does, the highest version of me that I can see. If I'm in my imagination and I start seeing that, feeling it, thinking it, I do that for 10 minutes every day, 20 minutes every day. All of a sudden, it doesn't feel so foreign to do it. Okay? We want to get into our imagination so that when we start defaulting to what used to be comfortable, feels really uncomfortable. When we start achieving things or doing things in inspiration from our imagination, from our highest version of ourselves, by the time you actually see it in the physical world, you're literally like, of course it happened. Prime example is like when I published my book. Okay. That was during the pandemic. I had, hired a coach for it. I also, though, had done the work of Bob Proctor before that, and I understood the power of my thinking by this time. So I had been in my imagination. I had seen it. I knew it. I knew it was happening. I knew, I had it all in my imagination. To the outside world, it was like, oh my gosh, you published a book. Oh my gosh. Like, look at the reviews and oh, like, this is amazing. This is amazing. And to me, I was like, of course. Why? Because I'd seen it in my imagination for so long that I didn't have imposter syndrome by the time that it was published. All right. So, what we'll see is a lot of times when we identify as somebody who is unworthy, when we identify as someone who is broke and broken, when we see just a glimpse of what we desire, we will self-sabotage. We will say, no, they made a mistake. I don't belong here. Oh, this isn't for me. This is for other people. And we will self-sabotage to prove ourselves right. We will. I'm going to give you an example. Nikki, can you repeat that, please? Yes. If we have imposter syndrome, meaning we don't feel like we belong, we will self-sabotage. We will do something to get us back into our comfort zone. Okay. So we have to get into our imagination. We have to get into the feeling. We have to get into the thought. So that by the time it starts showing up in the physical world, the answer is simply, of course. Of course. All right. But the first thing we have to do, though, I know I'm kind of going like all over, and we're going to really dive into that tomorrow. But right now, I want you to go into your imagination, and we're going to provide worksheets for you that says, who am I? Who am I? Brooke is a woman who? Brooke is a woman who might want success, but doesn't believe it's in the cards for her. Brooke is a woman who would love to go to Hawaii one day, but believes she could never actually make it. I don't know, right? How about this one? You saw in the video. I just got married, blended a family. Do you want to know what though? Before I did this work, I couldn't figure out why I kept on dating the same guy over and over. Meaning, not the same guy, but had the same toxic relationships. They weren't bad people. They just weren't my people, right? I kept dating the same person with a different face every time. Why? Because I was telling myself you are not worthy of love. I was telling myself nobody will want you. I was telling myself 2 kids, single mom, shameful. You sinner. So what happened? I started attracting men that also felt unlovable, meaning they're not emotionally available. Why? Because I wasn't emotionally available because I was hiding parts of me. I wasn't being vulnerable because I felt shame. Then I was like, okay, I identify now. I see that I identify now as somebody who is unlovable, who should feel shame. Why would anybody want me? I had to change that story. I had to sit back and go, well, of course I'm attracting the same men every time. You can use this in your business. You can use this in any area of your life. Of course I'm attracting that level of success. Of course I'm attracting these people in my life. Of course these are the friends in my life. Why? because I have some thoughts in my head right now that believe that that is what I'm worthy of. Okay. So I had to say, who am I? Why am I identifying as this? And then the second step that I had to do, I had to define what I wanted. I had to get real clear. What do I want? Okay. Well, I'm going to use this just because it's an easy one for relationships. But you can use this in any part of your business as well. I would love a man who is also growth minded. I would love a man who is kind. I would love a man who is family oriented. Then I had to discover what are the limiting beliefs that I have about that. Well, if I desire a man who is maybe emotionally available, then why am I going after men who aren't? Oh, because that's what I felt worthy of. Because that's who I identified as. So in order for me to be able to go there, again, I had to get into my imagination. Here's the real kicker. Can you feel love without a significant other? Yeah. Can you feel success without one dime in your bank account? Yeah. Can you feel healthy even if the scale says you're a few pounds over where you'd like to be? Yeah, absolutely. I can look all around and I can feel love from my friends, from my family, from my children. Success, it doesn't matter what I have in my bank account. If I'm moving money and I've come so far, right? I can feel that. I can feel healthy. Even if the scale says something that I don't choose it to say. I can get into that. I can feel that. The only reason that I wouldn't be able to is because I am judging my situation. If I'm judging my situation, then it is difficult for me to get into the feeling. But once I started defining what it is that I desire and I got into my imagination and I felt it, here's the kicker. By the time it showed up in my physical world, I didn't need it. I wanted it. I said, yes, please. I said, I'm open to receive. That would be lovely. Thank you. But I had felt so much love already. I didn't need somebody else to provide that for me. I didn't need to depend on somebody else for me to feel loved. Same thing in my business. I would self-sabotage. I would sabotage business. I would give up all the things. I thought I needed to do everything on my own. Success is really hard. So what did I create? Success being really hard. But I had to get into my imagination and go, if it's not hard, what does that look like? What does that feel like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? How would I allocate that? Where would I go? Who would I work with? What would my workday look like? What would I desire? I'd been there in my imagination so much that by the time the checks started coming in and reflecting that, I was like, of course. Of course. But I can guarantee you this, had I not been in my imagination and still continued to identify as broken, which I did in the beginning of my real estate career, that money would be gone as fast as it came. Why? Because it felt normal for me to have a zero balance in my account. It felt normal for me to stress about money. It felt normal for me to be behind on my bills. Even though the income was coming in, I still identified as somebody who couldn't manage money, who felt broken, who was unlovable, who was not worthy. So anytime it came to me, it was gone. What happens to people who win the lottery? Think about this. Somebody has an identity of working really hard, exchanging time for money, making $30,000 a year. What happens when they win the lottery? All of a sudden, they've got 10 million in their bank account. Nikki says they live in scarcity still. Up here, they might. But most people who win the lottery, unless they've been able to change their identity and have been able to, seek out help, get the coach, do the work, really figure out how to manage that kind of money, if they're still identifying as that $30,000 a year income earner who believes that being a multimillionaire is hard, it will be gone in a matter of a couple of years. It will be gone. It usually is. And they're usually worse off. Has nothing to do with what's in your bank account. We need to understand that. It's who you identify as. And then the physical world shows up. It's always about who we identify as. Okay? Again, don't ask me what I did, ask me who I am. Because the outside world is never, ever, ever going to outgrow you. It is always an inside job. It is always an inside job. It is always what it is that you believe to be true for you. So a lot of us will say, oh, Brooke, yeah, here you are. You got a great business. You got a very handsome husband who loves you dearly. You live a pretty good life. Yep. Easy for you to say. Nah. Y'all know that's not true. You saw in the video where I come from, right? I came from a very loving family and I self-sabotaged every bit of success, of love, anything. I couldn't get into the identity of being successful. I was just worried about having my lights turned off. I was like, I just got to come up with $200 to pay my bill. Success? Get out of here with that. No, I'm just going to constantly be chasing being able to keep my lights on. Well, that sounds like a beautiful life. What had to change? I had to change. I had to define it. When my mom passed away, she kept me afloat. But what happens when the people or the things that are going on in your outside world go away? We got to start saying it to ourselves. We got to start doing it ourselves. We got to start believing it ourselves. Okay? Everything is available to us. Everything. And I don't know if you believe in a certain faith, if you call your higher power God, source, universe, whatever that is, energy. But can we agree? It's in scripture, it's in all your self-help books. If you are obviously here because you are a growth-minded person, can we agree that they all say the same? Ask and you shall receive. Your wish is my command. What are we asking for? Are we asking for success to be hard? It's always what's going on in the feeling, the thoughts, and the subconscious mind that are going to keep us there. Okay. So by that, I mean, I would love to make $1 million this year. But whatever comes after that, but is the belief. That's what you're asking for. I would love to, close 10 deals a month, but I would love to have a loving relationship. But what's the underlying belief? right? That's why I think affirmations and this toxic positivity that the world that we live in, they don't always work. I could write 100 times, I'm a multimillionaire, I'm a multimillionaire, I'm a multimillionaire. But if I don't believe it and the constant time part in me goes, yeah, but, yeah, good luck. Yeah, but, the feeling is what I'm aware of, like, is the vibration I'm on. The feeling is what I'm attracting. The thought about it is what I'm attracting. So I say, yeah, but that's going to be really hard. Well, then it feels really hard. Right. But so I'll go back to the relationship thing and to get into my imagination of a healthy, loving relationship. Oh, what does that mean? Someone's so emotionally available? Never had that before. Why? Because I always thought I had to chase. I always thought I had to prove myself. I always thought something was wrong with them if they just liked me off the bat and were emotionally available. Why don't I like, I got to be special. Done changing people. I'm done fixing. I don't need to win. I just need to attract who I am. So, in order for me to attract love, I needed to find love within. I needed to grow within. I needed to feel love already. That's why I say by the time it actually showed up in my world, I didn't need it. Why? Because I was already in my imagination so much with the feeling of love that I was like, of course I'm worthy of this. Now, needing and wanting are very different. Anybody ever meet anyone with need energy? I need you. I need this deal to go through. I need this number of clients this month. I need it. I need it. Need energy is very unsexy. Need energy is like, I will do anything I can to get you to give me what it is that I want. Very unsexy. So, what if we just came from, I am so happy and grateful for what I have right now. I am her, and I would love a successful business. We have to define what that is, though. Or I would love to have a life partner, or I would love to take a vacation. I'm grateful for what it is that I have right now. Because we can hate our way to success or we can love our way to success. I've done it both ways. So I want you to think about this too when I say that. When I say love our way to success or hate our way to success, women, here we go again. Body image. Anyone ever try and lose 10 pounds? Yeah. If I'm coming from a place of, hey, fatty, go to the gym. You're unlovable. You have to lose this weight in order for you to be worthy. Restrict all the calories. Go kill yourself on the treadmill. That is hating my way to success. What if I just love myself and I say, I am so grateful for this body. I am so grateful that I have the ability to walk, that I have the mind and the eyes, and the ability to drive myself to the gym or to go outside for a walk. I love me so much that I want to stay on earth as long as possible. And because I love me so much, I'm going to take care of the body I'm in. I'm going to nourish it. I'm going to move it because I love it. I love it as it is. And it would be really beautiful if I could drop that 10 pounds just to make sure that I feel real confident. Totally different. We got to stop hating ourselves to success. We got to stop saying, you need this deal to go through because you're so broken, unworthy. And so when this deal goes through, then you'll be worthy. We can hate our way to success or we can love our way to success, regardless. But it's all about the journey, right? So if I'm judging that within me and saying, hey, fatty, or you're so unworthy, or you're so broke, I'm just judging circumstance. I'm just judging it. Who says? Who says that this is what I have to have in my bank account in order to define myself as successful? Who says that this is what I have to look like in order to be worthy of having what I desire? Who says that this is the marital status that I have to have? Who says? All it is it's judgment that's going on up here, and we're projecting it to our outside world, and we're attracting what we're projecting. We're attracting it. Okay. So if you're on a health journey, what if we just defined ourselves as I am health? I can find evidence all over that I am health. I was able to walk. I got out of bed. I'm able to see. I'm able to move. I'm conscious, right? We can find evidence that we are health. We can also find evidence that we are not. Which one do you want to tell? Which one do you want to believe? Which story do you want to tell yourself? You will always find what you're looking for. Like, think about this. Okay. Those of you that have a significant other or you've been in a relationship before or whatever. All right. Like, let's be real. If you're in a fight, like, I mean, we could go down the rabbit hole, right? Like, and you did this, and you did that, and we will nitpick everything. Oh, and last year you did this, and right? Well, it would just go down. Everything. We can find everything we want to be mad at them at that time. I mean, truly. I mean, it could be the way they're chewing their food. Like, oh, you annoy me so bad. But when you're in love and everything's good and you're happy, it's like, oh, you chew your food is so cute. That. Love everything about you. You will always find what you're looking for. Always. So we have to understand that everything just is. It's our judgment that we put around it. It's what we define it as that makes it good or bad. Think about politics. I mean, people will go like this, social media conflict, can't even have friends that think differently about you. But the thing is that they really think they're right. And so do they, the other opposing. They really think they're right. So who's right? Or left, whichever, right? But like when I say right, you know what I mean. But like all it is it's just the story. It's just the story. COVID. I mean, some people were so ticked off during that time. And they just spent every day so ticked. And they kept the news on. And it was like, I'm going to nitpick this apart and I'm going to be angry and I'm going to do this. And then other people turned the news on and said, you know what? I'm just going to embrace this time with my family. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to go into my imagination and I'm going to take this time and discover what it is that I would really love. Same thing, two different outlooks. Nothing is good or bad until you decide it is. Got it? Okay, I'm going to check the chat real quick. You live in scarcity. Yeah. Okay, good. If you guys need any other questions answered, let me know. Okay, step one. Who do I identify as right now? What is the story about me? What is the story about me? Who do I identify as currently? This is not you getting into your imagination as your highest self. This is becoming self-aware about the stories that you're actually telling yourself right now. Okay. This is the first step in anything. Always. This is also the step that most of us avoid. Because sometimes we don't want to go there. We don't want to discover. Who am I? What do I believe? What's my underlying belief about everything? How do I feel? What is my consistent feeling during the day? Am I a woman who feels anxiety? Am I a woman who feels happy? What's my dominant feeling during the day most of the time? Am I a woman who allows people's opinions to define how my day goes? Am I a woman or a man who defines whether or not I had a client say yes or no to me to decide? Am I a person who steps on the scale first thing in the morning? And if it says what I want, it's going to be a great day. And if it doesn't, then it's going to be terrible. Am I a person who puts my worth on whether or not my spouse is upset with me or anyone of my clients or anything else? Do I let all of my outside factors? How about my bank account? Am I a woman who desires success, but I have a deep rooted fear of having it? At first, you're going to find some really beautiful things. You're going to say, oh, I'm a woman who, or I'm a man who, and I am bold and I am confident and I am a business owner and I am a spouse and I am a parent or not, right? Or I am single. And then you're going to start going, and I'm a woman who's been called sensitive my whole life. And I'm a woman who will never amount to anything because money doesn't grow on trees, because it's for other people, because it's going to be hard. Okay. What is it? Let's discover that. Who am I? Step one, self-awareness. Now, we want to make sure that we're vulnerable with ourselves on that. Okay. Go there. Go there. Who am I? And a lot of times, every time you do this, you'll discover something else, which is so amazing. The one thing I don't want you to do when you're doing this is judge it. There's no room for judgment on this. Okay. There's no room for it. It just is. I'm so grateful I just discovered that about me. Now I have the opportunity to be able to change that. I can shift that belief. I have an awareness now. I have an awareness about what it is that I believe about me. During this work, I was so deathly afraid of going to the place of shame over being a single mom. Why? Because I grew up with a belief the single moms struggle, that something must be wrong with them, that they're unlovable. Where did that come from? I have no idea. But it came from somewhere. I heard it somewhere and I believed it. I have no idea where that thought came from, but I heard it somewhere and I believed it. But now that I was aware of it, I could change it. Oh my gosh, this has been holding me back in so many areas. It has not allowed me to grow. It has not allowed me to help others because this is the thing that I was afraid to uncover about me. Now I'm like, that is a superpower. You freaking badass, you. Look at those kids that you raised. Look at that business that you built. Shameful? No way. I have discovered so much about me. I've grown so much. I have learned so much. I have had to fall in love with myself because my gosh, would I ever want to raise my daughter not to love herself? No. In order for me to raise a daughter who was confident, no matter what, I had to embody being confident. I could tell her she was beautiful and wonderful and capable, all I wanted. But if I, at the same time, am saying that to her, I'm looking in the mirror going, oh, you look so old. Oh my God, you need to lose weight. Oh my gosh. Must be nice for everybody else to be successful business owners. Not in the cards for me. I am so sick and tired of being sick and tired. What am I showing my daughter? Good moms who are worthy of being loved don't love themselves. Do I want that for her? No. So instead, I used my children as my driving force. We will never say we're not worthy. I have never spoken to my daughter about how much she weighs. Never. We discuss health. We discuss feeling amazing. We discuss that beauty comes in all shapes and sizes and genders and colors. The only thing that defines beauty is your opinion of it. That's it. I'll show you an example here in the United States, where most of us are. Josh, we had like people from all different countries sign up too, so I really couldn't tell you where you are. But where I reside, especially growing up in the 90s, for some reason, like be super thin and kill yourself on the tread and do all this stuff, right? So that was the definition of beauty. You go to the other parts of the world, oh man, you got a little extra weight on your body and you are like gorgeous and wealthy. It was a sign of wealth. It's a sign of wealth. It's a sign of beauty. It's a sign of being feminine. So we just have to ask ourselves, who says that's a bad thing? Okay. All right. Who am I? What is it that I believe? I'm going to ask you to go there. I want you to go there tonight, today, whenever you can. Who am I? Then we have to ask ourselves, what do I want? Who am I right now? And what would I love? Not what do I need? By the way, if you are on this right now and you're watching this via Zoom and you have a camera and you have a computer or you have a cell phone or you're in a home or you have like you need nothing. You need nothing. Would you love more? Sure. Would you love more money in your business or in your account? Absolutely. Sure. That's okay. Do you need it? Again, where's that needing energy coming from? Need energy comes from lack. Need energy, the underlying belief is I don't have it. Okay. What would you love? What would I love? Make it tangible. I would love, maybe if you're in real estate, I would love to sell 100 homes this year. Maybe if you're looking, at retiring, maybe it's, I would love to put $100,000 in my retirement account this year. If you own a business, it would be, I would love this many new clients this year, or I would love it this month, or I would love to take a month-long vacation. I would love to go to Hawaii. I would love to have a significant other. I would maybe love to have a child. Needing energy. Statistics have shown like women who try and get pregnant who really clench on to the I need this to happen have a very hard time getting pregnant. But then the minute they go, I'm going to let this go. I'm going to let God do his thing. What happens? Open to receive without need. And it happens with ease. So that's what we want to have the energy of. I am open to receive. I would love more. I will allow it to come to me, but I don't need it. Because when I need it, need comes from a place of lack. So then we identify as someone who has lack, who is lacking. Oh no, we're not lacking. This is how I know. Everything is already available to you. The only reason that you might not yet see it in your physical world is because you are blocking it with a limiting belief. You are putting a kink in the hose. You are saying, this should be harder. So I'm going to make it hard. Or this needs fixing. So I'm going to concentrate on fixing it. Nah. What if you were just open to receive and you believe that you are worthy? Okay. Most people have a hard time with this as well. So the first two steps that we're actually doing in shifting the identity to have everything that you desire, your business, your love life, your health, whatever that is, these two first steps are the two steps that most people avoid. Because this is the work that you have to be vulnerable doing. I'll never forget, a year ago, I signed up for a coaching program that has completely changed me. So if you knew me a year ago, hello, I'm Brooke. We have not yet met, right? Because yes, I'm still Brooke, but the level of awareness and the identity shift that has happened in me has been like night and day. Night and day. Okay. But if you're wanting to go, I remember when I signed up for this program, I said to my mentor at the time, I'm not doing all that. That's too slow moving for me. I don't need to go into my imagination. I don't need to do the self-discovery. Just give me the playbook to get me what I want. She was like, simmer down. I was like, no, my background's real estate, right? So, it's give me the manual. Let me keep up. I got to do more. I don't have time for this. This self-discovery crap. No, thank you. I don't want to slow down. And she was like, you need to slow down. Why? Because right now you're identifying as somebody who has success, just needs to do more and more and more and more and more, which is the exact reason you need to slow down and figure out who you are right now. What is it that you want? What are the beliefs that are stopping you? And let's start creating from that space. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I already identify as, and she, really? So I slowed down. I said, all right, I'm coachable. I signed up for this program. I'll do it. Best thing I could have ever done. I am so upset that I did not know that work, that it was about who I identify as and not what I do. 15 years ago when I got into real estate. Now I own a coaching company with my husband. Right? And guess what? It takes action. It takes work, if you want to call it that, but it's not hard. Why? Because my ideas come from inspiration, because I'm in my imagination. I know what I want. So it doesn't feel hard anymore. So slowing down is the one thing that most people don't do, especially if you are someone who has found yourself in your masculine energy constantly. And that was me, single mom on the go, business owner on the go, selling real estate on the go. Got to do more, got to do more, got to do more, got to do more. So my limiting belief was, if I want to grow my business or if I want to take any vacation, it's all going to go away. My customer service is going to go down. And if it doesn't go away, that means I'm going to have to now put in 90 hours of work week. And forget sleep, forget anything with my kids, forget having any kind of fun. I literally lost the identity of somebody. I did not know how to fun anymore. I didn't even know what I enjoyed doing. If someone said to me, Brooke, what are your hobbies? I would be like, I don't have time for hobbies. And I would probably wear it like a trophy. Who has time for hobbies? I'm a single mom and I have to work all the time. Come on. Limiting belief. Complete limiting belief. So when I slowed down and I said, okay, now I got to get into my imagination, that felt a little scary. It felt a little scary because I knew there were some things in there that I was probably avoiding. But I can't change them unless I'm aware of them. And when I become aware of them, I can't judge them. That's the big one. I can't be mad at my parents for their limiting beliefs that I believed. I can't be mad about the decisions I made in the past because I made them from a different level of awareness. I can't be mad about the action I didn't take or the way that I'm judging others or the gossip that I went into. Can't judge it. I just have to be grateful that I'm now aware of it so that I can change that story. Okay. So who am I? Who do I identify as? And what do I want? What do I want? What do I really desire? This could be difficult for some of you because some of us have not grown up in homes or surrounded ourselves with people who are the dreamers, who are the big thinkers, who believe that everything is available to us and the only thing that's blocking it is ourselves. Most people say the outside world is determining my world. The people around me suck, so my life sucks. I was raised broke, so I'm destined to be broke. No, no. We haven't even given ourselves permission to go there, to say, what do I want? What do I desire? For today, please try this on for 24 hours. Give yourself permission to go there. What do you want? What do you want? Do you want a beautiful business? Do you want to have this much, in business? How much do you want to bring in revenue in your business? Not only what it is that you will do and how much, what would you, what days would you love to work? What days would you love to start? What days would you love to be done? Who would you love to work with? How would you like to allocate those dollars? What vacations would you like to take? Maybe you're going to start a foundation. Maybe you want to pay off your parents' mortgage. Maybe you want to buy a boat. Maybe you want to make memories with your family. Maybe you want to, whatever it is, buy a cottage, retire early. How are you? What would you love? What do you want? Go there. What do I want? This can be uncomfortable for a lot of people. There's so many limiting beliefs. And the only way, by the way, when I first started this work, I will tell you, I didn't think very big. But the more I do it, the more I grow, the more awareness I have, the more experiences that I allow myself to experience, the bigger I start thinking. Okay. The more I allow myself to experience, the bigger I start thinking, which sometimes requires me to get uncomfortable. About a month or two ago, my husband and I went to Anguilla on a retreat. If you think I would have ever spent this kind of money on myself before, like, no way. I would have never even allowed myself to have the experience because I would have told myself every reason that I can't have it, that I shouldn't do it, that it's irresponsible, that it's not okay, that I shouldn't, all the things. All the reasons. So I wouldn't even allow myself to go there. But I will tell you that retreat changed me because we took a chance. We got uncomfortable. We did something we wanted to, and we stopped with the noise that we're not worthy or shouldn't do it. We did it. We went there. We went there and we were with about 14 to 16 people within like our coaching group, and surrounded for 4 or 5 days by people that were, some were making 8 figures, some were making 9 figures. Yeah, 8, 9 figures. I'm going to say that again. The first day that we were there, we felt like imposters. We don't belong. What did we just do? I'm going to do everything I can to hide under this table or to book my flight home because I'm really used to being uncomfortable, but this is a different level of uncomfortable. We're in Anguilla. We're at the Four Seasons. We're around other people who are like 9-figure income earners. Like, who do we think we are? Why? Because we felt like imposters because we hadn't yet identified. What do you think happened after that 4 or 5 days hanging out with those people? Done. That was the best investment we could have ever made. Why? Because we grew into a different identity. Now, when we grow into a different identity, then we have to go, okay, if I can see it, I can achieve it. If I can feel it, that part of me exists. Now I got to go back into being self-aware. Brooke is a woman who, oh, there's some things in here. I have some beliefs of why I can't have what they have. But if they have what I desire, and by the way, it's not about like the 8, 9 figures. We are compensated for the impact that we make on the world. So if you are doing it ethically and you desire to make a great big income, it just means you're making a great big impact. What a beautiful thing. Money is a magnifier. If you desire to make an impact and you desire to do great in the world and you desire to make a difference, all that is a thermometer, a measuring stick of how well you're doing. Are there jerks that have a lot of money too? Yeah. How do we know about them? Because money is a magnifier. So they were a jerk before they made money, but money just gave them the ability to be a bigger jerk. If you're a really good person, you're a great person before you had money, and it gives you the ability to do more, to be better, to make an impact. If that even made you uncomfortable with what I just said, think about why. Why does a discussion of money make you uncomfortable? What is the underlying belief about people who have money? What is the underlying belief about people who have success? Must be nice. Jerk. Must have grown into it. Oh, daddy gave you everything. Is that true? Or is it your judgment? Pay attention to how you feel when I say certain things, and I will say certain things to deliberately try and jolt you a little bit because I want you to pay attention to how does that feel? How does that feel? Just like I want you to pay attention to what you're writing down, what is it I desire? What does that feel like? Is that exciting to me? Is that empowering to me? Do I feel like it's capable, that I'm capable? Do I feel like it's in the cards for me? Where is that? What does it feel like when I write this down? Okay. I want us to start looking at people who have what we desire as inspiration and not with judgment. If they have done it, so can I. I used to look at people like who are either in happy relationships or had great big businesses. I would judge them. Oh my gosh. Why? Because I had an underlying belief that that was not capable for me. And so what I would do is I would take the easy route. I would prove myself right. Must be nice. Not in the cards for me. So I would default to my comfort zone by judging them to prove myself right that it wasn't in the cards for me. So I stayed at that level of consciousness, that level of awareness. What if I started using it as inspiration? Oh, well, look at that amazing trip that they just took to Hawaii. That looks incredible. I'm going to reach out to them and see what their favorite part was. I'm going to like maybe do a little research. If they can do it, I can do it. That's inspiration. I want to look at people with inspiration. Just pay attention when you're writing down what is it I desire, how you feel. It is the feeling that is going to tell you the story about your underlying belief. I'm going to say that one more time. It is the feeling that you have when you're writing down what it is that you desire, that you will uncover the underlying belief that you have. So if you are a person who has written affirmations and you say, I am successful and I am bold and I am a millionaire and I am very influential and I am a person who sells 10 deals a month and I am a person who is like, whatever it is that you're telling yourself, if you have this feeling of not for me, or oh, not capable, or that's too big, and you're starting to tell yourself all the reasons why you can't, that is the underlying belief that is stopping you. That is the kink in the hose. We got to become self-aware. We got to figure out, okay? Then you're going to start saying, okay, where am I self-sabotaging? Where does that come from? Is that a story that is serving me? Is it true? Is it true? Okay. So then we're going to start uncovering a little bit and say, all right, these are the beliefs I have about what it is I desire. And I want you to question everything. Is it true? Is it a fact or is it my opinion around it? Is it a learned behavior? Is it something that was taught to me without judgment? We were raised by people who did the absolute best that they could. Okay. Is it true? Do I have to look a certain way to have success? Do I have to weigh a certain amount to define myself as being healthy? Is it true? What kind of business do you have? What kind of business do you want? Pay attention to how you're feeling. Then we're going to start uncovering the limiting beliefs. Oh, if I tell people that I'm a single mom, couples won't want to work with me. Is that true? Or is that my own opinion and judgment of myself that's sabotaging my success of working with married couples? Oh, in order for me to be attractive enough to attract the man I desire, I have to look this way. I have to have this color hair. I have to weigh this certain weight. Is it true? Or is it my judgment? Everything just is until we decide good, bad. Then once we start owning who we really are and we're vulnerable with ourselves, oh man, come on. You ever notice that like the most beautiful person in the room, let me rephrase that. The most confident person in the room is rarely the most beautiful. The most confident person in the room is rarely the most beautiful, and also rarely the loudest and the one that has to defend their position. Because if they have to tell you how good they are, do they actually believe it? Or are they just are? They just show up as them, authentically, unapologetically. This is me. Do I claim perfection? No. Do I love myself as my imperfect self? Yes. If I can own all the things about me, what do I have to apologize for? Nothing. Nothing. Okay. So, what we're going to do is I want to just go over one more thing before we call it a day, because I really want to make sure that we give you enough time to get into the work. Okay. What you're going to hear me say a lot is be, do, have. Okay. Be, do, have. What this means is that in order for me to have what I desire, I must first be her. Then I must do the things that she does in order to have what it is that I desire. Okay. So what we're going to do is I want us to first start and say, okay, this is what I want. And in order for me to have that, who is it that I need to be? What version of me is it that I need to grow into? So that's what we're doing today is the be part. The be part, okay? First, I have to be self-aware about who I am today. I can't skip that part. You have to be self-aware about what it is that you want, about who you are. Then it's, okay, what do I desire? What do I want? Not what do I think is capable for me? Not what do I think is in the cards for me? Not what do I think is achievable? What do I want? What do I want? Okay. Now, step one in the B. Once I've decided who I want, what I want, we're going to go into, all right, how do I think when I have everything I desire? How do I feel when I have everything I desire? How do I show up when I have what I desire? This could be your business. This could be your health. This could be your self-love. This could be your love. This could be any part of your life. Do it in all areas if you choose to. Or what I would recommend is picking the one that is gnawing at you the most right now. We all have that one thing. It's really kind of gnawing at us, okay? What is it I desire in this area? Who am I as this version of me? Okay. Oh, well, this version of me is super bold. This version of me is a leader. This version of me is happy. This person of me is grateful. This version of me is free. She spends her money how she wants. She doesn't worry about money. Worrying about money kinks your hose to be open to receive it. Sometimes the one thing we want the most is the thing that we worry the most about. Gotta stop the worrying. Okay. So that's the being. Once I decide who I am or what I want, then who am I as her? She's bold. She's independent. She's fun. She loves adventure. She's grateful. She makes decisions quickly. Okay. Who is she? Oh, well, once you discover who she is, that could also bring up some more limiting beliefs about you. Because tomorrow we're going to talk about the activity. What do I do as the bold version of me? Oh, now I got to act? Uh-oh, what does that mean? But I'm not her. Yes, you are. If you desire it, you are her or him or them. Okay? You got to desire it first. Who are you there? Because if I say, I desire $1 million company, or I desire 10 new clients a month, or I desire whatever it is, but I don't get into the who am I at that version of me, I just stay broke, broken, unworthy, unlovable. And then I say, I'm bold. Then I say, I want this. There's a misalignment. We do not attract what we want. We attract who we are. We do not attract what we want. We attract who we are. So how do we attract what we want? We become her first. Make sense? Okay. All right. Ooh. Identity work. It's a lot, guys, and I know it is. And I really want you to embrace this. You are all stayed on. You're all here for a reason. There is a reason you came on. I called high achieving. You are already identifying as high achieving, showing up. Did I say calling all people who have $1 million in their bank account? Did I call all people who have a business at this threshold? Did I call all people who are this level of health or this status? No. The only requirement is that you said, I am high achieving. Again, You passed the test. You showed up. That is an identity. Now, you may have shown up and said, okay, but I'm really not high achieving. But you're here anyway. Can we find things in your life that you did achieve, that you are proud of? Can we change that story and say, oh, no, I am high achieving? Yeah. There are definitely parts about me that I'm proud of. We can identify as such. There was no requirement except for you to say, yes, I'm high achieving. The definition of that is up to you. Okay. So remember, we're going to do this work without judgment. We're going to remember that everything just is until we decide whether or not it's good or bad, our judgment around it. We're going to uncover what that story is. And then we're going to start tomorrow by rewriting that story and also embodying her. Okay. That is where the real good stuff comes. But in order to get everything out of tomorrow, it's really imperative that you do the work today. Who am I right now? What do I want? And pay attention to when you write down what you want. Uh-oh, how does that feel? What is the belief I have about that? You're going to uncover some things. Go there. If you have dream killers in your life and you're writing this stuff down, don't show it to them. Burn it. Don't tell them. This isn't about anybody but you. Nobody else is paying your bills. Nobody else is married to your spouse. Nobody else is living in your body. Nobody else runs your business. Nobody else, pays your anything. This is about you. What is the life work? Nikki, can you expand on that?
Yeah, the homework. I meant the home. Like,
oh, the homework. Okay.
I
yes.
call it life
like
work because it's not.
Well, we're doing
anymore.
the life's work right now, girl. Like what? Yes. The homework is we're going to send you the worksheets. You'll get that. By the way, check your spam or your junk email too, because I know that sometimes our emails go in there, but you're going to get a worksheet and it's going to be, but the steps are, if you want to start working on this before you get the worksheets, is who am I right now? Brooke is a woman who, and go there, uncover a few things. At first, it's going to be beautiful and it's going to be great, but who is it that I identify as right now? Like, what is the story? Then I'm going to go into what do I want? What do I desire? What would I love? What would I love in my business? What would I love in my life? What experiences would I love to have? What, if you're like, I just want to have like $100,000 in my bank account. Why? Who says that's a good thing? Who says that's the number? Why? I just want to have $1 million company. Why? $1 million company is nothing if you don't know how you're going to allocate those dollars or what you're going to do with it. How are you going to make a bigger impact? What are you going to do with it? What experiences are you going to have? Who are you going to help? What is it? Why? It's so interesting because like a lot of time when I first started coaching realtors, it was like, Brooke, my first year, I just want to learn how to make 6 figures. Why? I don't know. I just think that that's a really good number. Okay, if you don't know how you're going to allocate that right now, we're not getting there. Why? Waking up for a number is not worth it. Doing the work for a number when you don't know why is not motivating. Ooh, but I'd love to impact this many people. I'd love to change these many lives. I'd love to help this many families. I'd love to start this foundation. I'd love to, by the way, any pain that you've gone through in your life is not for you to keep. Any pain you've gone through in your life is not for you to keep. It is up to you to share that story and help other people by what you've been able to overcome. So every time something painful happens, or you can look and you're looking back at your life and you're going, oh yeah, but this happened. Oh yeah, but I went through this. How can we change that story into being your success story? I used to think this, and this is what my life looked like, and this is who I am today. This is where I'm growing into. I'm so excited to become this version, because then I can help other people uncover that about themselves and live a full, beautiful life as well. What if that's your success story? What if that's the only reason you want to make it? Because you had pain in your life and you know that you have the ability to help other people when you overcome it yourself. Now that is a reason to wake up. That is a reason to build the business that you want. That is a reason to get into the identity and the awareness of the version of you that you desire to be. Our stories and our pain are not for us. They are so we can help other people. And you showed up today to become aware of that. That's your superpower. That's why you went through those things. Now, you could believe something different, but I choose to look at life's situations as fuel. Okay, this is happening right now. This is contrast I'm experiencing. Yeah, well, we're just building the story. When we get through this, we're gonna help other people get through it too. And then I can start thinking about the desired outcome. That's a reason to work for it. We got to get out of Groundhog's Day. We got to get out of the idea of like thinking that everything that's in our world today is exactly how it's going to be when, in 50 years. Come on. We're the only species on Earth that has the ability to get into our imagination. Let's start using it. Why were we given our imagination? Because we create. You're always creating. You're always manifesting. You're always attracting. Some of you, no, I'm not. I didn't attract this life. This is not the life I desire. Well, how much time do you spend in your imagination and get comfortable with what you want? How much time do you spend being self-aware and discovering what's stopping you from it? The thoughts, the feelings, the actions. We're always creating. Problem is, many of us are just creating the same thing that we lived yesterday, tomorrow, because we're constantly thinking about what's going on in our physical world. We're constantly making things hard. We're constantly thinking about what's wrong. We're engaging with the same people. We're behaving the same way, rather than just spending that 10, 20 minutes in our imagination saying, what is it I want? Let's create from that space. Let's start being her. Let's start doing the things that she does. Let's start thinking and feeling that way. But in order to do that, we got to become self-aware of what we are right now. Okay? Questions or comments? If you are just making sure I've got everything here, are someone who does not want to do this work, or you're like, I'm not doing it. Ask yourself why. Why not? I avoided it. I didn't want to do it. Why? Because I thought that the only thing I needed was a playbook and to grind harder. I didn't want to discover who it was I identified as. But here's the thing. I discovered through this work that I had a fear of success. So the one thing I'm chasing is the one thing I'm fearful of. So if I didn't do the identity work, if I didn't figure out where I am today, if I didn't know who Brooke is right now, you could give me all the playbooks in the world and I'm still going to have the same results. Why? Because I'm chasing the thing I desire. Or I'm chasing the thing I'm afraid of. Got to become unafraid of it. We got to go there. Got to uncover the stories that are stopping us. And then we got to get comfortable with the new story. And so tomorrow, what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about how do we change that story? How do we start embodying that version of us? All right. Tomorrow, you do not want to miss. Tomorrow is where we put this stuff into action. Tomorrow is when we become. Okay. You do not want to miss tomorrow. The other thing is, some of you have been in my inbox and asked me about my programs, and I will tell you, I will speak a little bit about them tomorrow. I also have a promotion that I have never ever given. Never. You want to stick around for tomorrow. The promotion I have is ridiculous. And it will be from tomorrow at 1:00 when we end for 48 hours. So you want to stick around to hear about that too. But I will not spend an hour on my programs. I will only speak about them for a little bit because my main goal of this whole launch or this whole class that we're doing on identity is to add value to you. Add value. I am a firm believer that I am compensated for the value that I give, and whether or not that comes from the place I give value is irrelevant. I am open to receive. Okay. So just come and get the value. Just come and take everything you can. Let me give you as much value as I can. Show up tomorrow. But right now, let's become self-aware. Okay. Self-aware. What do I want? Pay attention to how that feels. And if you can discover some limiting beliefs in there, figure them out, write it down. Ask yourself, is this true? Tomorrow, we recreate the story. We talk about embodying it. Good? Okay. If this feels like a slowdown for you, good. If it feels uncomfortable for you, good. Means you're on the right path. Give yourself this gift, okay? And then I will see you tomorrow at 11. So look in your inboxes for those worksheets. Come prepared for a great day tomorrow and be ready to make that shift. I'm excited. We'll see y'all then. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks for spending this time with me. I appreciate it all.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.